Undefeated Wolfpack is back, but how many guys is the team losing? Let's stop stalling and start talking wrestling. What's going on, wrestling fans? My name's Josiah, and welcome to another lineup preview going into an ACC team this week and the undefeated NC State Wolfpack. Of course, this team went 15-0 last year, winning the ACC, and just had a phenomenal run. I mean, beating great teams like UNC and Virginia Tech. Throughout the entire year, just a great season. They have the longest win streak in the NCAA right now, and that's why I'm super excited to talk about this lineup, because I kind of, prefaced it up front with how many guys are losing. Well, the team isn't really losing any guys, which makes this such an exciting lineup to dive into, and I'm just super psyched to get into it. And so with that said, we got to dive right into 125 pounds. So at 125 pounds, we have a couple of guys here with Anthony Noto and Jacob Camacho. Now, Noto is a four-time New York State champion, but the guy here who actually started last year, you may know him by Jacob Camacho. Now, Camacho is actually the top 5 ranked guy in the country in the preseason right now, with a solid record last year in just his freshman season. Now, Camacho was actually an ACC champion last year, which just really surprised a lot of people. Not saying that he couldn't get it done, but with Jack Mueller at that weight, it was just a tough weight to win. I mean, Jack Mueller, who was a returning NCAA finalist, and then Jacob Camacho came into the ACC finals and nearly majored Mueller, which was absolutely impressive. Now, Camacho, he was a national qualifier, obviously, by winning the ACC tournament in his first season, and he just had a great first and second half of the year. Getting into the season was a little bit difficult at first, but finishing with a 20-6 record was very, very great, with other wins over Pitt and UNC and Virginia Tech throughout the dual meet season. Camacho is a guy you need to have on your radar for this upcoming season. And that brings us into 133 pounds. And at 133, we have the other starter here from last year, Tremblay, returning to the lineup. We also have Kai Orange. Now, he is actually a top 50 recruit in the class of 2019 and a top 10 guy at his weight at 126 pounds. But the guy who's going to end up starting here is, again, going to be Jarrett Tremblay. Now, Tremblay he's in a rough weight. I mean, to put that lightly, he's in a rough weight at 133 pounds, and there's just a lot of competition here. Now, he is a top 20 ranked guy in the country right now and had a solid, freshman year at 20-9, but he kind of struggled to beat a couple of these top ranked guys. That's kind of where he had some tough matches. Now, he actually won the Wolfpack Open, and he got wins at the Cliff Key in Las Vegas and ended up qualifying for the national tournament. But, he's going to have to step it up for this upcoming season if he really wants to make the jump, possibly into those top 10. He's going to have to beat some tough guys. And that brings us to 141 pounds, where we have the most loaded weight for the Wolfpack. You see, they've so many guys here at 141 pounds. Usually each team, for whatever reason, they just have one weight that's really stacked up. A lot of times it's a lower weight, whether it's 25, usually it's 33, 41, 49, but 41 for the Wolfpack is stacked up. Now, the first guy I want to talk about is Ryan Jack. I keep saying Jack Ryan because of the Amazon show with John Krasinski, but I'm sorry, Ryan Jack, who you may know as the younger brother to Kevin Jack, the 3-time All-American from NC State, Kevin Jack. Now, Ryan Jack is actually a 4-time Connecticut state champion in himself. You don't want to just compare him to his brother all the time, but he is a 4-time Connecticut state champion. He won NHSCAs and actually placed at Super 32s in the past. So he is a solid guy, but he's just coming into his freshman year. So the guy who's going to be starting again is going to be Tariq Wilson. Wilson, who bumped up last year, he was at 133 and was a former All-American in his freshman year, redshirt freshman year, is now coming at at 141 pounds again, and he's the top 15 ranked guy in the country right now. He had a solid year at 141, even with bumping up. He struggled a bit, but still with a 24-6 record, he had a solid year. He ended up placing second at the ACC championships, and he ended up also placing at the Cliff King Las Vegas as well as the Southern Scuffle. His loss to Sherman at the ACC championships was a little bit rough for him, obviously, but moving on as he goes into this upcoming season, I think we're going to still see good things out of Tariq Wilson. As he gets even bigger in this offseason, he has so much time to get bigger now and really get himself into the weight. I think we're going to see good things out of Tariq Wilson for this upcoming season. Now, at 149 pounds, this is a weight that's a little bit more open than some of the others. Now, we have some of these guys, Shaw, Grippy, Fields, who all had solid winning records in the past season with some really good victories. But the guy who started here last year and is actually ranked right now by Flow Wrestling at 149 pounds is AJ Lighton. Lighton placed fourth at the ACC championships last season, but he unfortunately did not qualify the weight at 149 pounds. And one interesting thing as I was researching for this video is I found on Flow, they actually said that there were 4 different guys for this weight for NC State in the past 4 seasons. So NC State has put a different guy at this weight in the past 4 seasons, which means this is a constantly rotating weight, which anything could happen here. There's no real standout guy at this weight. Layton is going to likely be your guy. He had wins at the Cliff Kane Scuffle and the Wolfpack Open, but just to say, you know, that's where kind of we are at 149 pounds. At 157 is where we have the big dog in Hayden Hidlay. Hidlay is, of course, you're returning. He's a 2-time All-American with some impressive wins on the national stage. You know, unfortunately, he was never able to really overcome Jason Nolf, who was kind of his nemesis at the national tournament. But Hidlay is coming back for an incredible season. I'll get to him again in just a second. We also have Joe Roberts, who is a freshman coming in, an Illinois state champion, and Eddie Scott, who is a Pennsylvania 2-time state champion. He is also part of the Fanco 50, and if you're unsure about what the Fanco 50 is, that is the top 50 incoming freshmen in the class of 2020. I'll have the full series linked right here for you to check out, because you're not going to want to miss Eddie Scott and all these stats on these incoming freshmen. Now, he's out of Du Bois area high school in PA with a 151-6 record. So many pins coming out of Eddie Scott. He's a pinner. He actually has the career pins record for District 9. And the other guy that is from Pennsylvania as well and is going to be starting again this year is Hidlay, who was 28-1 last year. That lone loss coming to Ryan Deacon of Northwestern, and he's going to have to find a way to overcome that victory over Deacon to come in and win his national championship. I think it's definitely possible. I'm fully rooting on for Hayden Hidlay to win this, and we could even see him cross the 100 wins mark in this upcoming season, depending on how many matches they have and, you know, everything that happens with this upcoming season. Now, at 165 pounds is where we have Thomas Bullard, as well as a couple other guys. Now, first I want to mention is Donald Cates. He's a North Carolina state champion, and AJ Kovacs, who is a New York state runner-up. He's also, in the past, he was a New York and actually a Connecticut state champion. But the guy here who's going to end up getting your starting spot is going to be Thomas Bullard. Thomas Bullard returns for his senior season. I always kind of get the Bullards confused with Thomas and Daniel, but Thomas is the lighter of the brothers at 165 pounds. He's a top 10 ranked guy in the country right now, and deservedly so. Now, he did place third at the ACC championships last year, but he is a consistent wrestler. He has been consistent throughout the whole year, and he's able to pull out some great victories. I mean, throughout the season, he beat Jake Wenzel, who ended up winning the ACC championships. He had a win over David McFadden, who is a 3-time All-American. So Thomas Bullard has some serious potential to get on the stand this upcoming season, and I personally think that he will get on the stand. With wins also over Joe Lee, who will be coming in for Penn State this upcoming season, Ethan Smith of Ohio State, and I really think that looking at, it's going to be tough to hang with maybe Alex Marinelli and Micaiah Lewis at the top, but looking at some of these other guys like Travis Whitlake, Logan Massa, Evan Wick, I think that Thomas Bullard is able to hang with the rest of them. You won't really see him wrestle those guys throughout a lot of the year, but I think we're going to see good things out of him. And his brother Daniel Bullard is also in his senior season. Uh, and he is actually a top 15 ranked wrestler right now. Now, he actually placed second at the ACC championships last year, and he is another guy who is a consistent wrestler with just a few rough losses throughout that year. I mean, he's mostly beating guys that he should, but I'll tell you what, his schedule last year, just with the guys that he wrestled, he wrestled them well, but he didn't have a lot of like those top ranked guys on his personal schedule. He wasn't wrestling the Michael Kemmers or the Mark Halls. Not saying he couldn't necessarily hang with them or any of that, just saying they weren't on his schedule, so it's kind of tough to gauge where he's going to be at this upcoming season. Now, I think we're still going to see good things out of him, but I just want to point that out. At 184, we have Hayden's younger brother and Trent Hiley, who is a sophomore. Now, a great freshman season is what Trent Hiley had. And look, he had a great Cliff Keen Las Vegas, losing to Zahid Valencia, which now that Valencia is out of the picture, that leaves the weight a little bit more open. And I think 184 is one of those weights, I've said it before, I'll say it again, is just a weight that really anything can happen at 184. From the number 1 ranked guy to the number like 12 ranked guy is just wide open to really winning national championship. Now, you do have guys up at the top with Hunter Bolin is going to be tough, with Max Dean, but I think that Hiley is able to hang with the best of them. Now, he does have losses to Bolin in the past, but he does have I believe he's 1-1 maybe against Louis Dupre Louis Dupre, as well as a win over Nino Bonacorsi at the ACC championships, and I think that we're going to see good things out of Trent Hiley in this upcoming season. I think that he's just really going to have to step it up this year, and I think he'll be able to take some good notes from his brother and know that he has to become more of a leader on the team. I'm not saying that he wasn't in the past, but he's going to have to step it up at 184, and he's top 3 in the country right now, so like there's only so much stepping up he can do, but I'm really excited to see what Trent does personally. So at 197 pounds, this is a weight where Tyree actually started last year. He placed 4th at the ACC championships. And we've seen also Nick Reenan. Now, Reenan is a guy who unfortunately has kind of been plagued with injuries throughout the last couple of seasons. We could see him, we're likely going to see him starting this upcoming season unless he's hurt again. But he's just faced just so many unfortunate injuries that's kind of just left him out of contention for certain ACC championships and the national championship. He is a multiple-time national qualifier, and he's beat guys in the past like Chip Ness in a couple of seasons ago, who Ness ended up taking 6th at the NCAA championships. So like he's beaten these guys who are tough guys, not only in the ACC but on a national level. And if Reenan can come back in his senior year and pull off something great, we're going to see a really solid NC State team. And that brings us to heavyweight, where this is actually another loaded weight for NC State. First of all, I want to talk about Owen, who is a top 100 recruit out of Blair Academy. We also have Colin, who is another top 100 recruit. These two guys in class of 2019 was Owen, and these are some solid guys at 285 pounds. We also have Isaac Trumbull, who is another top 50 guy, is on the Fanco 50 list, and a 2-time Nebraska state champion. Now, he's a 2-time Nebraska state champion, also a Super 32 and Fargo placer. We could see him bump down to 197. That is a possibility that he could go 97 or 285, kind of whatever best fits the team. But the guy who I think may get the starting spot, you could see Trumbull come in and get the starting spot. I don't think it's likely, but you never know, is Deontay Wilson. Wilson, I mean, he is somebody who has excited fans. He's excited me in the past as a NC State fan as well. He did lose in the ACC championships, taking 2nd, but he lost by a point to Demetrius Thomas, who I believe Demetrius Thomas had a chance to All-American at heavyweight. He has win over Borst of Virginia Tech, and one of my favorite matches of him was in the UNC door. The last match came down to him, and he was able to pull out that victory. Wilson was able to pull out that victory, of course, and I think he is a guy who's just going to continue to do well for the Wolfpack. Now, the Wolfpack is coming back with a 15-0 record and losing none of their starters. I'm super psyched for them. If you're looking for another lineup preview, I recommend that you check out this series linked down below, where I've done so many lineup previews so far. ACC, Big Ten, every single conference. Check them out down below.